everybody, what's going on? It's Aditi here, your intuitive marketing strategist and leadership coach. So today is a very, very special Q&A where I am talking about my journey from $0 in my business to making over 100K. Okay, and clearly something is buzzing. I should have turned this stuff off beforehand, but I'm gonna do it now, so it's all good. So I have a queue of questions that I'm going to go through, and I'll be able to answer them like that. But what I really want to do is let me just close all this stuff, and so I can be here fully. Okay, cool. So let me pull up the questions. All right, so a bunch of people sent in questions beforehand, so I could have them ready to answer, and I am going to answer your questions. So if you guys have any questions that come up now while we're live, go ahead and ask them, and I'll be able to go through them as we're on this call, and I'm going to be going back and forth between the questions that came in beforehand as well. But I wanted people to submit them beforehand, just so I had them ready to go and I can just knock them through. Are we still live? Okay, good. And I'm just going to share this. I actually hate when people do this live on camera because I'm like, people are just waiting, looking at you, doing nothing. But I just realized I don't know how else to do this right now unless I pay for the service that shares it for you. Okay, cool. So we're all shared out, you guys. So let's jump into it. So this is the debut of my haircut. So if you don't know, I just chopped off 13 inches of my hair, 13 plus. I don't know the exact number, but it was something like that. And it was really long, really, really long. Actually, I think I have a picture of what it looked like right before I chopped it off. So you guys can see the transformation. This is the first time, I think this is the first time I'm doing a live video with my new hair. And I'm obsessed with it, you guys. I was crying. I was so upset, but I just knew that it was time to cut this hair. And I just went for it because I just knew it was holding me back in certain ways. Because what happens is your hair holds energy and it holds memory, right? So if you had your hair during certain times in your life, it's going to hold those memories from that time period. And so this hair from before I cut it, this is from when I was in Chicago and I was super depressed. I was super, super depressed. And so because of that, I was ready to let this go. I was like, okay, this hair is ready to be chopped off. Okay, I found the picture for y'all. Okay, ready? Here's the screen. So that's what my hair looked like, you guys. That's what my hair looked like just like a few days ago. So you guys can see the difference. It's a lot shorter. And I freaking love it. You know, I was really nervous. I was scared. Oh, thank you so much, Kimberly. She said, your hair looks really great and lighter. Yes, it feels so much lighter, so much lighter. Oh, I love you guys too. Hey, Arti. Okay, cool. All right. So I am going to jump into the questions. And Kimberly, Arti, if you guys have follow-on questions to the stuff that I'm answering from other people and anyone else who's watching, feel free to ask those follow-up questions in the comments. I want this to be interactive. I want to be able to answer some of the questions. And I'm ready to go raw and vulnerable with you guys, okay? So I have been through some painful stuff. It's been a really hard journey. I'm going to say that up front. It's been really hard for me. And most importantly, this is my journey. Okay. So this may not be the journey that everyone has, right? I'm not like a poster board child for the 100K possibilities, but at the same time I am because, I've gotten there and I know so many people are trying to get to that place. And that's why I wanted to do this because I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm really here. I can't believe this. I mean, just a few weeks ago, I didn't really actually believe that I was at 100K. Like I felt like I had just made $10,000 only. Like that's where my mind was at. Like I just was in disbelief because I just been in such hard work mode. And like, I'm just like, oh my God, am I really there? Is this really it? Like what's going on? You are tearing up and now I am. I probably will cry, you guys, at some point in this broadcast just to let you guys, give you guys a heads up because It's been a lot. What a difference with the haircut. Holy cow. I love it now too, right? It's crazy what a difference it is. Okay, so let's get into the first question. Or I guess let me give you guys a quick overview of kind of what's my story. So basically, I started my blog 6 years ago called ILiveWithJoy.com. Tell me below in the comments if you guys were here when I was doing that blogging. Were you a part of that community? Because some people have been with me since I started that, like 6 years ago till now. So it's pretty cool because my brand has evolved multiple times since then. But that's where I started, you guys. I really started blogging. You know, I just always had a knack for personal development books and self-help stuff. And I would always help my friends and people who were asking questions about that kind of stuff or were going through a hard time. And, you know, I would go to my bookshelf, pull out that Louise Hay book, You Can Heal Your Life, and I would just start reading lines from that book to my friends. And I remember this one night, my friend was going through a really hard breakup, and I was visiting her from DC, and I literally pulled that book out, and I was like, look, I was like, you are worth so much more. I was like, let me tell you. And I was just reading this, and she was like, I think you should do this. Like, you should, like, be an inspirational speaker, or you should write, or you should do this stuff. Like, and I was just like, I don't know. I just kind of enjoy this for myself, you know? And, like, it's like I started getting this feedback from people that, like, you're really good at this. Like, this is your thing. And I was like, I don't know. And then eventually, and I was in corporate America at that time. I was in management consulting and marketing at a top 4 consulting firm for 6 years. So I was like really hardcore in corporate America, and I loved it. I will tell you guys, I loved it. The first 3 years, I freaking loved it. I was involved in all the activities. I was signing up for everything. Like, I was a leader on many different projects and situations. I loved it. I loved it. But it was after that 3rd year that I really started feeling like, I don't really like this anymore. I feel like there's a ceiling. I feel like there's a lot of politics. I feel like there's a lot of ass kissing that I have to do that I don't want to do. I feel like I can't be myself. I need to have this like work persona. And then I come home and I have my fun Aditi persona, you know? And I was like, I wish there's a place where I can just be all of me and also work and serve and get paid for it, you know? And this kind of eventually came into my periphery that, hey, you can do this, you can build a brand online, and you know, you can write, you can teach, you can do all these things with your expertise. And that's kind of how I got into it. I found Marie Forleo's B School, and that really just opened my mind up to the possibilities. I was like, okay, this is a thing. And I used all my tax money to sign up for B School, and that's kind of where I launched my blog that summer. I hired my first coach. And that's kind of how I got the ball rolling. And then a few years later is when I really got intuitive guidance to step into doing marketing. And marketing, you guys, is my soul. Marketing is in my blood. If anyone here is in my community, you guys know that marketing just flows out of me. Like, I truly do believe it is a gift that I was born with, because I was doing marketing way before I even knew what marketing was. You know, I was talking about the customer experience, you know, the visuals, you know, all of that stuff. I was already doing all of that stuff in high school, in different organizations. And when I got to college, I found out about marketing, and that's when I enrolled in marketing for my undergrad, and then I even went for my master's in marketing. So marketing is everything that I've been doing. And I'm also a leadership coach. So leadership is something that I've been involved in leadership, again, also probably since I was 13. I always found myself taking leadership positions, and doing things like that. I am an introvert, so I would be like super quiet at times, but then I was also like a super boss at times, and people thought I was a total pain in the ass. But at the same time, they nominated me to be president because guess what? This girl gets the job done, and she does a good job. So if anyone is calling you names when you are in your gift and in your expertise, know that you can listen to it, right? You can listen to it to get some feedback, but at the end of the day, if you're doing a good job, you're going to get nominated. You are going to get picked to win. Dana's here. Hey, Dana. So Dana said, I think I met you then. Yes, I think you did meet me then. Cool. So yeah, so there's people here from then, which is super, super cool. And then after I went to grad school is when I went full time into my business. I was like, you know what? I can go for a job, and like all my classmates were going for jobs. But I just felt sick to my stomach every time I thought about it. I was like, I cannot go back to corporate America. I'm gonna die. You know what I mean? And I'm not even exaggerating that, you guys. Like literally, like I had already gained like 80 plus pounds weight because I was super unhappy and depressed. And I know going back to corporate America, I would have gained even more weight, and I probably would have freaking died. If I didn't die a physical death, I would have died a complete I don't know what the word would be. I guess spiritual death. I would just be a complete walking zombie, and I didn't want that for myself. And I fought a lot of naysayers. I fought a lot of people who told me that, I should get a job first. I should build this up on the side. But I knew in my heart and in my soul, and this is part of, what I want to share with you guys about the 0 to 100K journey, about listening to your intuition, about listening to your heart. I knew that if I went back to corporate America, that I would not be doing this because one, I'd be too scared to get on camera when I have coworkers when I go to work the next morning, because that was already happening when I was at my other corporate job, right? And I see some of my clients struggle with this as well. And the other thing was I was going to get comfortable with the comfy paycheck. You better believe I wasn't going to be getting on camera because I'm like, well, my rent got paid, so we're good. You know what I mean? But when I went full time, I didn't have that luxury. Like I almost had to put myself in a do or die situation because I was like, oh my God, I have to pay my rent next month. What the F am I going to do? I better get on camera. Okay. I better start teaching. I better start building a community. And that's kind of how I started. I started with only $1,500 to my name. I was able to pay my rent for January 2016, and I had no idea what I was going to do in February. Okay. I was completely freaking out. I was losing my mind. And I thought, I'm going to be homeless. Everything's just going to shit. Maybe I made a horrible mistake, because I thought that things would just happen. Clients would just show up if I decided I was going to start a business, and it does not work like that, you guys, just FYI. But, so that's kind of a general overview of kind of where I started. And then now 31 months later is when I hit the 100K. Okay. So it's not in 12 months. I know some people are like, oh, is it in this year? No, it is over 31 months. And, some people will be like, oh, that took too long. But for me, I'm like, yo, you just made $1 million. I cannot believe you just made 100K. Like, what the F is going on right now? So for me, this is a huge, 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 huge milestone because I didn't even know if I would get to this point, And to think that I made $100,000 of revenue on my own with my own knowledge and my own expertise, that's pretty fucking badass, okay? And that's what I want to show you guys, the possibilities and what is possible for you too. Because I know, everybody's in different stages, of course, but if you're watching this, potentially you didn't reach your 100K yet, and that's why you're interested. I hope the stuff that I shared today is really helpful. So yeah, keep commenting, you guys. I see you. Hey, Tamala, how are you? You remember that. Yeah. So keep interacting with me. It makes it more fun for me to be on here, so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. But let's get into the first question. Okay, so the first question is from Paula. She said, congrats, Aditi. My journey has been so hard, as you mentioned. I would like to know if you change your services, position, and branding along your journey. I've changed a few times, and I think this had pushback instead of actually helping me. Congrats one more time. Okay, so I would like to know if you change your services, positioning, and branding along the journey. 110%, Paula, 110%. I started doing I Live with Joy blogging initially. Then I moved into marketing. And now I'm moving into leadership and marketing. So I'm adding on leadership to it. So absolutely, I changed it multiple times. I changed things. It wasn't like I was changing it every month, but it would be maybe like every 1 or 2 years, or maybe after 6 months, if it's even refining my message a little bit, because you always want to be up to date with your community and with your industry and what's going on, and you also want to be up to date with yourself. So as you're continuing to grow over time and grow in your business, grow as a person, your brand is going to change because you're changing. So just as a person evolves, a brand evolves in the same exact way. Okay, so yes, absolutely, it will change. And I think that There's nothing wrong with that. And it's not going to hold you back as long as you're doing it with integrity with yourself. Because what happens is sometimes it gets really confusing, right? You get kind of lost in this whole marketing business world and you're trying to follow all this advice that all these different experts are giving you. And you kind of get lost in that mix and you don't know if you're doing the right thing anymore. So I want you to reconnect with yourself and connect with your heart and your soul and be like, does this feel in alignment with me? You know? I'm tired of changing my brand so many times, but is this more in alignment with me than what this was, right? Whatever the past was. And if it is more in alignment, then move forward with it, you know? And I will say, stick it through for a little while. You know, you don't want to be keeping changing things like every 2 months. Stick it through, really work with it and run with it. And after you feel like you've done everything you can with that part of it, then you can feel like if it's time to move, you can move on to that next thing. But yeah, absolutely. Things have changed many times. And you guys, if I find a product or service that I think that you'll benefit from, I'm going to mention it on this broadcast to help you with that. Okay. So for anyone who's struggling with branding or positioning, I do have a brand clarity course that is super, super helpful with that. You can go to getbrandclaritynow.com. So Paula, the brand clarity really, really helps you get clear on where you are with your brand and if you're feeling aligned with it. And can you guys see it? I know my shirt is like black and white. Let me put my hands here. So getbrandclaritynow.com is the link for the brand clarity course. That's going to really help you get clear on your brand and help you build a brand story and a core message and all of that kind of stuff to help you move forward with it. Okay. So everybody, when they do their branding work with me, they feel so aligned and so good to it because I ask very targeted questions to help you get super clear on your brand so you can move forward with it. So everybody who's on here, if you guys have done your brand clarity with me, tell everyone how it benefited you so people can see how powerful the brand clarity is. Okay, so Paula, hope that answered your question. If you guys have follow-up questions to what I just said, again, feel free to put it in the comments and I'm happy to answer them live. Okay, so the next question, this is a great question from Franca. She says, what daily activities did you do that moved you from 100 to 100K? So not your current activities, but what you did then. Okay, so what I really did to get from 100 to 100K was that I really showed up in my business and I provided value. I created value. I added value to my industry, right? So the biggest thing that you can do is really contributing to your industry. So let's say, you know, for the marketing industry, for me, right? So what am I contributing to the marketing industry? I'm making marketing a lot simpler and digestible for people because I know a lot of my community gets really overwhelmed or confused about really where to go with their next marketing efforts, right? So I always try to make marketing simpler and easier to implement for my community. So that is something that I add to my industry. And what I do is I'm always engaging and showing up with my community, whether it's helping them through getting comfortable with getting on live camera, whether it's helping them write their brand story, whatever that is, I'm helping them get from point A to point B, and I'm teaching live on camera. So one of the main things I've done is been on live video. So you guys see me on live video right now. You might be catching this on YouTube later, but right now we are live. Okay, so I did a bunch of live video. Was I terrified? Did I hate it in the beginning? Absolutely. Did I hate looking at myself? 100%. But guess what? It helps you fall in love with looking at yourself. It helps you fall in love with everything that you see. Because right now I'm looking at myself and I'm like, damn girl, you look great. And it's taken a while to get to this point because in the beginning I hated looking at myself in the mirror, you guys. I hated it. But I also knew how powerful and how successful you can be from using live video. So I went for it because I was like, I'm not going to corporate America. So my other choice is to look at my face at that time. I'm like, I feel like I hate how I look, right? But I'd rather do that than go back to corporate America. So you guys have to really be able to navigate, your options of you either do this or you do this. Like you either get on live video and sell stuff or you stay broke, right? So when you start putting it like that, then it just makes you do those things because you're like, well, I don't want to be broke, or I don't want to go to corporate America, so let me get on live camera. You know what I mean? So thank you, Tamala. Thank you so much. She said, you do that so well. Damn, girl, you look great. Thank you. So I got on live video. So like I had said, in the beginning of my journey, I only had 1,500, about 1,400 of that went to rent. So I had about $100 for food, you guys, for like that whole month. I didn't get my eyebrows done or anything. Like my eyebrows looked a hot mess. It was just a lot going on. So anyways, what I did was I went on live video every single day. And at that time I went on Periscope. I went on Periscope every single day and I taught marketing concepts. I taught marketing strategies. I taught things that people needed help with or wanted help with. And then what I did was I sold an offer that would help them go from point A to point B. So I remember, and some of you guys have heard the story, but I remember when I started going on live video and I sold my first digital product. So, I had known that this was a thing, that people sell things online and people buy them, but I didn't really know if it would work for me, right? So I started just teaching, and at the end of my teaching, I started selling. So I sold at that time was also the same brand clarity course, but at that time I called it the brand tuning workshop. And I pre-sold it for $79 and the regular price was $99. And at the end of it, at the end of my broadcast, which was about a 30-minute broadcast, and I was teaching about how to pitch yourself, right? To get interviewed on a podcast. And at the end of that, I pitched my brand tuning workshop. And I had not even created it yet, you guys, okay? So I pre-sold it for $79 because I said, if you buy it now, you'll get it for cheaper than the regular price. So there were people who were interested in that. So they were like, I know I need this. I like you and I know you can help me. So I'm going to go buy that. So after that broadcast, about 10 minutes later after I got off, I got a PayPal notification. And I was like, what's this? Huh? Did somebody send me money? Like, I was like, maybe one of my friends sent me money. Like, I don't know, right? And I'm like, $79? Did I just make a sale? And I just lost my shit in a good way. I was just like, oh my God, I just freaking made a sale. And it was a complete stranger. It was somebody who I didn't even know who they were. And they had literally just found me on a Periscope. And it just blew my mind because guess what? By that sale happening, it opened my mind up to the possibilities. Like, I was like, oh my God, I can sell stuff online and I can teach on camera. This is great from the comfort of my home, And then 2 weeks later, that same person who bought that $79 product bought a $2,000 package with me. And guess what? That second month, my rent sure did get paid. And that story is always super emotional for me because I'm like, I think that moment was when I was just like, okay, Didi, I think you just might make it. You just might make it. I think that this might be for you, And that was kind of one of my big milestones. And I just kept at that, to be honest. I kept at that. I kept showing up, giving value, teaching, and then selling an offer that's going to help people get from A to B, So I had to keep selling and creating and teaching and doing all of that stuff. And really that is kind of the activities that has brought me from 100 to 100K in terms of the physical activities, right? Just repeating that process again and again and again. And in my Get Seen, Get Paid course is where I teach this process that I just have repeated again and again and again to get to 100K literally. And so I learned integrated marketing communications in my master's degree at Northwestern. And I used some of the model that I learned there, but I really intuitively added some of my own stuff that I felt like was needed in order to be successful in a business. So in the Get Seen, Get Paid course is where I go through my 5-step process, which is called the Get Seen method. So the Get Seen method is what I have done, which allows you to get paid for what you do. And the Get Seen method, on a very quick overview, starts with doing your branding and then doing your customer clarity, getting really clear on your customer. And then it goes into setting up your systems, your marketing systems. And then it goes into getting visible online, being visible online and even in person. And then the last one is setting up your marketing plan. So my daily activities really included teaching, providing value, content, and then selling an offer at the end of it. And really nurturing relationships. I think nurturing relationships is a really, really, really big one too. Okay, and what are the components of a coaching business? So this is also from Franca. What are the components of a coaching business that make it successful? I know about sales, marketing, and content creation, but what else is involved? So she already mentioned sales, marketing, and content creation. So these are the things that I think are involved as well. So not giving up, because I'm telling you, you're going to want to give up almost every day, almost every other day, and almost every month and every year. And I have had those moments many, 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 many times where I was just like, I don't know if I can do this, you know? So you're going to hit a lot of red lights, and it's your opportunity to decide if you're going to keep going or if you're going to stop. And it's really difficult. And that's why I believe it's really important to be working with the right mentors, okay? Working with the right mentors, because it is too hard to try to figure this out by yourself and do this alone. Unless you've taken a bunch of marketing courses and business courses and you're now just implementing it. I feel like having a mentor has been absolutely crucial, because I have just been so scared, and many times where I wanted to give up. There were times where I was launching things and I was making no sales, and I made maybe $100 that month. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to pay my rent. Like, I think I need to give up on this. Like, I don't know what is going on. So I had some really big, like, come to God moments where I wanted to quit. And if I didn't have the right mentors, that would have been hard. And the third thing is having a support system. Okay, if I didn't have the right support system, I wouldn't have had someone holding me up, telling me, Aditi, you're born to do this. Do you not see yourself? Like, just watch your video. Like, you are born to do this. You're so good. Do you see how many people are benefiting from the work that you're helping them with? And look at how much you've helped me, you know? And in those moments when I really wanted to give up, I needed those people to remind me of those things, because I couldn't see it for myself. I could not see it for myself. I was just like, I suck. I am not good enough. Everyone hates me, you know, all this other stuff. Like, it's just not going to work. Hey, Claire, so glad you're here. Good to see you. So, that part was really hard. Okay. The next thing is constantly working on your inner self. Constantly, because you can have all the right marketing, you can have all the right sales and all the right content creation, but if you don't believe in yourself, if you're not working on your inner self, you're not going to get anywhere, because you're going to have self-limiting beliefs that are blocking you from moving forward, that you're not even going to know about, unless you actually really go deep within yourself and do those like money exercises to help you move with your money mindset, your confidence exercises. Because there were many times, you guys, I thought I was super confident and I got this, but when I went to sell, or when I went to pitch, or when I went to do this, I was getting zero sales. And it was because I didn't actually believe in myself, but I didn't know that because I wasn't aware of it. It was when I worked with my mentors or my healer or someone who could see that for me, because I couldn't see it, that you don't believe in yourself, girl. I know you think you do, but you don't. And I was just like, okay, then let's go back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? So it's like my marketing was on point and everything was on point. But if I wasn't aligned to it energetically, or if my heart wasn't there, or if I just really didn't believe in myself 100%, or up to a certain level, then it wasn't going to work, you know, and really focusing on making a contribution and serving. Because if you're just trying to figure out how you're going to make money, and of course that's a big part of it, right? It needs to start there. But at some point you do need to make the shift of like, how am I adding value to this world? How am I making this world a better place? How can I serve so that these people can get to that next place and I can show them what's possible for them? You know, when I get too caught up in the sales stuff is when I end up blocking myself. And that's when I need to shift myself and move back into service, because when I'm in a place of service is when my business really, really, really thrives. So I think the biggest part of making a coaching business successful is really managing your mind. And because your mind is the only thing that stops you from being successful, because your mind is the only thing that stops you when things get hard and your mind starts telling you tricks that you should stop, that you suck, that you're not good, all this other stuff. So really managing your mind is what's going to make your coaching business successful. If there's one thing that I could tell you, 100%. And working with a coach is going to help you with that 100%. Okay, so next question is from, and I know a bunch of you guys are here live, so again, if you want to put a question that you have about my 0 to 100K journey, you can put it in the comments below. I'm watching the comments, okay? Okay, so next question is from Kavita. She asks, how did you deal with rejection and fear of failure? This is such a good one. So how did you deal with rejection and fear of failure? Um, so one thing you'll learn on the entrepreneurship journey is that that's just part of the game. Rejection and failure is just part of the process. You are going to get rejected and you are going to fail. So the sooner you become more comfortable with that and just realize that that's part of the journey, it's going to be easier for you because you're going to realize that this is just part of it. So I can't run away from it and I'm going to embrace it, or I'm going to allow it to come in and I'm going to work through it. So yeah, there's times where I thought a certain client was going to sign up and they didn't, and I did get upset and I felt rejected. I felt like this person didn't like me. Your mind just goes into all these crazy places, and I had to work through it. There were times I got super depressed because that person's money was going to pay my rent that month, and then when it didn't happen, I freaked the hell out. Especially my first year of business, I was like, oh my God, I thought I had this in the bag. I thought this client was definitely going to sign up. They were really interested. And sometimes clients express interest, but then they completely ghost and they peace out and they just never come back again. And that could be for multiple reasons, right? It could be because they didn't align with you. And that's completely fine. Or it could be that they're just not ready to make the kind of leap and shift that is required to do the work, to work with you or buy from your business. They're just not ready to make that leap. So sometimes it's really not a personal thing, you know what I mean? But it really is just that they're just not in alignment right now. And maybe the way that you're going to push them out of their comfort zone, they're not ready for it, so sometimes it's really not personal. So I think how do I deal with it is learning to not take it so personal and look at it from an objective place where you're like, okay, I see that this person didn't come in, and I trust that it wasn't meant to be. So I'm a God girl, so I will talk about God here, and if that doesn't resonate with you, you can ignore that part. But for me, I was like, God, only bring people into my business who are meant to work with me. Only bring people who you want me to work with, who you want to work with, right? So I was like, I really always say that. And I also say, only bring people into my business who are going to be successful, because I don't want to work with people who are just going to not do anything and just going to complain forever, or talk about how hard this is, but not actually take action or be willing to move through it. Because I've had to work through and move through a lot of hard stuff. And I want to work with clients who are willing to do the work as well. And it's not just the physical work of writing your marketing posts, right? But really dealing with your inner demons, because that is what actually prevents you from writing that post or getting on camera or doing all those things, right? So if you're just going to be in a place where you're like, I just don't have time, I just don't have this, I don't have that, I, I mean, if you don't have time for your life purpose or what you're here to be born on earth to do, or, where your happiness lies, or what your heart is really calling you to do, then I think, it's better off you work with somebody else, because with working with me, I only want to work with people who are ready to do the ugly and dirty work. And there is a lot of ugly and dirty work, and I'm not going to sugarcoat that. It is hard as hell, because you really have to go into some really, really deep and dark places with yourself that you would never have to go into potentially in corporate America, because you can just keep it safe and just keep riding the wave, collect your paychecks, do some good work, and keep it moving and get promoted over time. But when you're an entrepreneur, you really have to deal with all your demons, because and by demons, I mean, your all your self-limiting beliefs, all the things that are holding you back, all the things that you hate about yourself. I have really had to fall in love with myself for my business to start to be successful, because if I hate myself, and if I don't like how I look in the mirror, or if I don't like how my voice sounds, or if I don't like, all these things about myself, it's going to make it much harder for me to run my business, right? Because I have to look at myself, and I have to believe in myself, and I have to believe that I have some value to add to the world in order for a client to believe that I can actually help them, right? So if I don't believe myself, how the hell is someone else going to believe in me? And that's something that happens a lot, that when you're in this journey, especially in this beginning 0 to 100K journey, that you almost rely on your potential clients to give you validation, because you're like, okay, if I get a client, that means that I must be good. Or if I get a client, it must mean that there's something to me, right? But you need to already believe that there's something to you and that you can help and that you have a gift and that, you know, you can help people do X, Y, and Z even before you get a client. Because if you don't, it's going to prevent you from getting that client. And two, it's going to create client drama because you're going to create an environment where you're going to be mirroring your unworthiness back to you, you know, where a client may act crazy or demand things from you or ask for a refund and say you suck or whatever, right? But it's really going to be a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So that has been one of the really hardest parts because your relationship with yourself is going to show up in your business 100%. So how you are with yourself, how you treat yourself, how you show up for yourself is going to be reflected in your business. So you know, if you're not getting things done, or maybe if you're not getting clients, or how the clients are acting with you, like all of that stuff is a reflection essentially of where your energy is and where you're at. So that becomes really hard to look at because you're like, oh my God, is this what I really think about myself? Right? Because we only operate from 13% of our brain, of our conscious brain on a daily basis. So if 87% of our brain is actually carrying our energy waves and who we really are, and we're attracting things from that place and we don't know what's in that 87% of our brain, then you're going to be surprised by the things that are going to show up. And it's going to happen, right? Like I was surprised by certain things that showed up. I was just like, damn, I didn't know I hated myself that much, you know? And it's hard to kind of realize these things on your own. That's why you need a coach or a mentor or someone to kind of help you see things that you can't see yourself. Because you may just look at the tangible things, right? You're like, well, why am I not getting sales? What marketing strategy do I need to change, you know? Well, if you don't believe in yourself, the way you show up on camera, your energy is going to also attract or push people away. So even if your product is good, your marketing is good, your strategies are good, but you're showing up on camera and not really feeling so good about yourself, right? People are going to pick up on that. People are going to pick up on the fact that you don't actually believe that you're good and that you can actually help them, or you're a fraud, all that kind of stuff, right? And speaking of fraud feelings, you're going to have that. Like I felt like a fraud all the time. Like I just felt like I just wasn't good. But it's crazy because when I shifted myself into serving and then I actually showed up for my client calls and things just were so good, I was just like, damn, Aditi, you're really good, you know, especially with my brand clarity. Like I really got so much confidence in that. Like I knew that I was good at it, but in these last few months, I've really been doing a lot of brand clarity work. And I'm like, damn, Aditi, you are really gifted at this. You're so good, because I was taking people's brand stories and adding my magic touch to it and giving it back. And it was just like this really powerful, powerful brand story that I was just like, wow, this is really powerful. You know what I mean? So you get to see your own gift, which is really, really, really helpful and powerful. All right. So next question. Sukhtej says, I get easily overwhelmed by social media. So what are some great ways, or what are some ways to create relevant content consistently? I resist writing and posting because I don't know where to start. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is kind of work backwards. So I want you to start with your products and what you're going to be selling. And then work backwards from there with your social media marketing plan. Because if you're just randomly posting random shit, you're just randomly posting random shit, right? There's no strategy here. It's not leading to anything. It's not taking you anywhere. So what I want you to do is start with the products that you're going to be selling and then work back like 4 to 6 weeks. And then from there, think about what is the content that, people that leads up to this product, whether it's a course, one-on-one session, or whatever. So maybe if you're taking people from a journey from 0 to 100%, right? Like the solution is at 100%. Then how can you help them get from 0 to 5% potentially with your free content, right? Or 0 to 10%, whatever that is. So that will help you map out your content. And then what I want you to do is think about what is your 2 social media platforms that you're most comfortable with. So you want to pick 2 that you can be consistent on. So you're not just overwhelmed trying to be on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and Periscope and just everything, right? Instead, what you want to do is pick 2 that you can be really consistent on and do that. So for me, I had been using Periscope and Facebook as my main 2 ones all the time. And now I've moved it to be Instagram and Facebook. So those are my two consistent ones. You guys will always see me on all of those platforms. And if you're not following me already on Facebook, you can find me on facebook.com/Aditi Creative. You can follow and like my page so you can get notifications when I go live. And then on Instagram, it's also Aditi Creative. So Instagram.com/Aditi Creative. You can follow me there. I am a huge storyteller, so I love to tell stories. People love hearing my stories because I guess I write them in a way that makes it like suspenseful and interesting or powerful and things like that. But I write some really deep stuff, and it's great. So follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and you'll get to see those stories, and I can help you write your story too. So that's what I'll say. I'll say to pick 2 social media platforms and then map it out from your product and go backwards 6 weeks and then see what content that you can map out that will help you sell that product and lead up to it. So how can you add value to your community that will eventually get them ready for your product or course, etc. Okay? So Eva asked, how do you believe in yourself? I totally see others' worth, but I question my own. This is so good. Hey, Shweta. Okay, so how do you believe in yourself? So this is a great one because I definitely did not believe in myself for definitely the beginning part of my business. And I think it's a journey, right? Could I believe in myself more even now? 100%. So I think it's a journey to believe in yourself more and more over time. But most importantly, I'll tell you about this moment that I had. I had this moment last summer, and I was like, Aditi, everyone else sees how awesome you are. Everyone else sees what an amazing leader you are, and they see your star personality, right? Like they see that you're good on camera and all these other things. And why can't you see that? Why does everyone else see that, but you can't see that? And I was like, I don't know. That's a really good question. So I decided in that moment, I am going to focus on developing my star self, right? So I believe everyone has a star self, a part of them that, I'm sorry. I just saw, hey, Manveer, I just saw your comment about how can I be a rich person. So that just made me laugh. Sorry. But anyways, what I was saying was, I was like, how can I take my strengths and strengthen those more, right? Because clearly I'm good at storytelling, I'm good at live video, I'm good at these things. So how can I enhance that? How can I work on that more? And how can I see myself as the star that everyone else sees, you know? And I really, really struggled with that. So I really just made a decision in that moment that I was going to start seeing myself in the way that these people saw me, right? But the people who saw me in a good light, not the people who saw me in a bad light. So I really focused on that. So Eva, I want you to think about, and for everybody, think about what are the star qualities that other people see in you, and how can you start to see that for yourself and really start to believe that for yourself, right? And I want you to come up with evidence. Come up with evidence on things that you did really well, right? So when I didn't believe in myself with my marketing stuff, so sometimes what I would do is offer free sessions or really just show up for my classes and really just move into that place again of service, right? And then when I would see how I would do, that would help me believe in my abilities more, because I'd be like, oh wow, you're actually really good at this, you know? So here's one tip for you. I recommend that you appreciate yourself with one compliment every time you pass a mirror, okay? And I think I may have talked about this before. So if you've already done this, I'm going to tell you to do it again, and it makes a huge difference, okay? So every time you guys see yourself in the mirror, I want you to give yourself a compliment, tell yourself how you look cute, tell yourself you love yourself, or whatever it is. You know, be like, hey, cutie, love you. You know, do all of that, because I'm telling you, it makes a huge, huge, huge difference on your like cellular makeup of how you think about yourself. And So I've had to do a lot of work on believing in myself. And um, at some point, I think I just got tired of it. So at some point, you're just going to get tired of not believing in yourself. And you're going to be like, I'm tired of this. And that tiredness is going to propel you into that next place, because you're like, okay, well, how can I believe in myself more? Because I'm tired of feeling like this. It's exhausting and it's draining my energy, and I'm just tired of feeling shitty, you know? And I've had those moments. I've had those moments when it's like, Aditi, are you tired of thinking you're like worth nothing, that you suck, that you provide no value, and that you're ugly, and that you just can't get anything right? You're just so irresponsible. Are you tired of thinking all these things and believing all these things? I was like, I really am. So I had wrote down things that people had said about me that were negative, that I really internalized. And I started coming up with a new script. So like one of them was, my parents have said that I'm irresponsible with money. And so I really started to believe it, and it really started to ripple effect in my life. I was maxing out my credit cards. I was running out of money all the time. I was always broke. And all these things just kept happening. And it's an ongoing process, right? But when I first had started it, I was just going to be like, no, Aditi, you're fucking responsible as hell with your money. Okay. I don't care what anyone else says. I don't care what anyone else's life looks like. You're doing the best as you possibly can, and you're doing a pretty damn good job, and I love you for it. And I really started to shift those conversations in my mind, because belief comes from your brain, you guys. So the most powerful thing you can ever do is manage your mind, work on your mind, pay attention to what your mind is saying, because your mind will tell you lies. Okay, your mind will tell you things, horrible things that are not true. So you have to really, and it takes a lot of work, you guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It takes work, daily practice, every single week. You have to look at your beliefs. You need to write them down. What do you believe about yourself? What is really hard right now? What do you hate about yourself? And start looking at the things that are going on in your mind on loop, on repeat, again and again, because that's going to affect your business. And that is one of the most powerful things that I've had to do to actually get from 0 to 100K, is look at the looped mindset that is going on in my head again and again and again and again. You know what I mean? Okay, so Manvir, I see your comment. I grew up in an orphanage. I don't have parents. I don't have support. I want to be a successful person. Financially, I'm very weak. I want to be a chef. Oh, wow. Amazing. I love cooking. I follow your steps. It gives me a lot of energy. Oh, my God. I love it. Thank you so much for being here, Manvir. You guys, my butt is really hurting, and I really need a pillow, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Ooh, all right, that's better. Okay, so if you love cooking, there's so many things that you can do with that, Manvir. You can start a online show. You can start like a YouTube channel. If you have, I don't know if you have a smartphone, but if you have a smartphone where you can make videos, you can put them up. You can teach people cooking stuff. You can even, over time, to make money with it, you can create some sort of membership where people. A membership is basically when people pay you a monthly fee, and you can share your favorite recipes with them. You can have cooking classes, or if you want to do something in person, right, you can uh, I know lots of restaurants are looking for chefs all the time. So you can look for a local restaurant that is hiring chefs. You can go pitch yourself and show people your expertise. You can even cook food and deliver it to people's houses for money. So I know that's a very popular thing, where people like don't like to make their lunches or dinners. I know I don't really like to cook, so I would pay for this. But if you're a chef, you can make food and deliver it to people's houses for a certain fee. And you can maybe make some flyers and deliver it to your local neighborhood, things like that. So those are a couple ideas on how you can make money with your cooking skills. Okay, so next question is Arti. How do you get started each day? Lists, journaling? I'm not as fast as I'd like to be, and I really want to increase my momentum. Awesome. So there's a couple things to help you do this, Arti, and everyone who's watching. So one, you really want to start planning out your weeks on what you're going to get done this week. So
a lot of the times I was just kind of haphazardly working, and I was just kind of like, I don't know, I know I need to get this done by some point. I know by this date, but I wouldn't actually plan out when I would get it done by. So what I've started doing is like, okay, this week this has to get done. Next week that has to get done. The following week that has to get done, right? And I would map it out, and I would say like, okay, like, and I had to be very strict with myself. Okay, so you have to create this level of discipline that you may or may not have had before. I didn't really have much discipline with getting things done, I'll admit, because I have been a huge procrastinator and all these other things. Unless I really had a deadline from work or from school that I just had no choice, I needed to get it done. So I had to start doing that with myself. Like, it's like, you are not allowed to do Netflix and chill. You are not allowed to text that cute boy that you have a crush on. You are not allowed to have some non-dairy ice cream until you finish filming your Get Paid course. Okay, girlfriend? And so I had to really start putting on these like boundaries with myself, because I would be like, I don't feel like doing this. I don't want to film. I don't want to write. Nah, you know what I mean? And I would just rather want to chill and hang out and watch TV. And so it gets really, really hard to discipline yourself. And Arti, I know you have 2 kids, so it's even harder. And actually, someone you should talk to is Kristen Arillis. She is in our Star Marketing Academy. So, you guys, if you are interested in working with me, or you want to find out more about all that kind of stuff on how I can help you with your marketing to get your business up and running, I have a monthly marketing program that you can join at a very, very, very low cost. And you can find it right now at mybrandvoice.com/superstar. Okay. Now, if in the future you're watching this video and that link doesn't work anymore, just email support@aditicreative.com to find out how to join this group if it's still on. But right now it's very much on. And in that group, Arti is part of this group, and so is our friend Kristen. So Kristen actually has 2 kids under 2 years old, okay? And she is amazing. I'm very inspired by her. I admire her work ethic. And she films videos, she gets stuff done. She has gotten a few clients now, and she is running a whole household while having 2 kids under 2. So it's really amazing how she gets things done. She's a really good planner. She's really good at setting her times and all that kind of stuff. So that's a great person to talk to. And if you guys want to talk to her too, come on over to the Star Marketing Academy, which again, you can head over to mybrandvoice.com/superstar. Now, I am revamping this whole thing, so you might see some old names and things on there, but it's all being revamped in these next few weeks. But right now, that is the link that you can join, and I do have a special for the first month, and the price of that is going to be going up soon. So if you want to get in, now is the time to join. I do weekly office hours in there. I do monthly strategy calls, and we're going to be adding a lot more stuff in these next coming weeks as well. So, and another thing I do, Arti, is, and actually, Kristen has been pushing me to do this too, is like really plan out what you're going to complete tomorrow, the night before. So like write it down, so that way the next morning you're not waking up confused when you're ready to work, and it's like, well, what should I work on now, right? What should I work on? Well, you have your list. Just go down the list and complete that one thing at a time. So think about your goals, map it out backwards, plan it out by month, and then plan it out by week, and then plan it out by day. Work with what works for you, and most importantly, focus on getting that thing done and setting a time limit. Okay, so you're gonna be like, Arti, you have 30 minutes to complete this social media post, and it's going to be done. No matter what is done by that 30-minute mark, it's going live. So when you do it that way, you're like, oh my God, this cannot get posted live because it's not done yet. So let me clean it up real quick. Clean it up real quick. So I've done that with myself, and sometimes it happened because I literally had a deadline. Like, I was teaching a class and like time was running out, and I literally had like 20 minutes left, so whatever goes up goes up. I can't make it any better at this point. So and that was because of a deadline, right? So I started doing that on purpose. So it's like, okay, in 30 minutes this has to be done, so whatever's done is what's going out. So if this is how you want it to look, that's fine, but you better get in the core main parts of it done right now. So that's kind of what I really had to do, and I had to get really disciplined with myself with completing my projects, because I had courses to run, and I had clients waiting for me for these products and deliverables, and that kind of forced me to get it done. And setting those time limits makes a difference. And again, working with a coach makes a difference. When I first hired my first coach, I had made this goal that I was going to have my website done by the end of working with her. Okay. And I think we were at our like maybe 6th session now, and I didn't have my website done. So I was like, Aditi, you did not just pay $1,500 to not have a website done. You better get your shit together and get it done. I was like, shit, yeah, I did not just spend $1,500 to not have anything to show for. So I'm telling you, hiring that coach really made me get my shit together. So I stayed up, you guys, all night that night for 24 hours. And you better believe I got that website up. I watched every tutorial. I watched everything. And I started from scratch. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. I had never really built this kind of website before. And I was just, like, so confused. So you better believe when I showed up at that session that next morning, I was like, guess what? My website is done. And I felt really good about myself. But it actually got me to get stuff done. You know what I mean? So, Arti, I know you have sessions with me. So, we talked about booking your next one. So, book your next one. Make a goal of what's going to be done by the next time we meet. And it'll happen. Well, this happened to one of my clients, I think a week ago. She was like, oh my God, I have my session with Aditi and I don't have this done yet. I need to get it done. And like, she like did all this stuff that morning before we met. So it like got her to get it done. So I was like, I love that. You know what I mean? So, I think you're going to have to really plan it out, be mindful of your time and really learn how to work with yourself, because you'll find your working habits. You're going to be like, wow, you just really love to watch Netflix and do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I really learned like some things about myself, of how I like to distract myself, how I like to avoid what I would need to do, or, you know, and again, if you're procrastinating, it might also be something deeper in your subconscious that you're afraid of putting yourself out there. You're afraid of writing the story. You're afraid of what people are going to think, right? So you want to go deeper into that as well to see what's kind of coming up for you. What are you struggling with mentally that is stopping you from moving forward? How are you self-sabotaging yourself in this moment? You know what I mean? Cool. So I think I covered all the questions, you guys, that came in ahead of time. Does anyone have more questions that you want to ask? Yes, it is something deeper. I think I have some distractions. So this is a really great self-discovery process, you guys. It's a wonderful self-discovery process to help you kind of see how you work and like what it looks like and how you work better, because you're going to get to learn how to work with yourself and what kind of ways to get yourself to get shit done. Honestly, because yeah, that's pretty much it. But I will say the one main thing that has allowed me to get to 100, from 0 to 100K, is belief in myself. Because the marketing processes, of course, they've been getting a little better and refined and all of that. But overall, I've been using the same marketing process again and again, which is get paid, over and over again. And that's just continuing to grow my business, right? So that hasn't really changed. But what really has changed is my belief in myself and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I've really worked through a lot of my blocks. And, you know, I found out that my weight was a block to my success as well. As I told you guys, I've been 80 plus pounds overweight for like at least 15 or so years of my life. And actually, my healer is here. Hi, Shweta Iyer. So if you guys don't know Shweta Iyer, check her out, shwetaiyer.com. She is the best healer I've ever been to. And I promise you, I've been to many healers and intuitives and coaches and all of that kind of stuff. And now Shweta is my main chick, and she's the main person I work with. And she told me in our energy sessions that there's no room for money to come in because your weight is taking up all the space, right? And it's not about the physical weight necessarily. It's just that all these repressed emotions and all these like blocks that I had in my body were not allowing the money to come in. So at one point my business hit a plateau, kind of, you can say, where I wasn't really gonna be making any more money. So when I really started to, so it's like focusing on my health just to focus on my health didn't work for me. But when I had to focus on my health to make more money and be successful, I was like, let's go to the gym, y'all. We're gonna make some money. I need to get my money bags because I'm not blocking my money because of my health, right? And so that made me get my health in order. And you guys, I have lost about 50 pounds now, which is insane. So I truly believe that that is a big part of it as well, because it just helped me mental clarity. It has helped increase my intuition, because I use my intuition a lot in my business. It has helped me increase my belief in myself. Like, I've really been working on my beliefs about myself, and um, that has been growing over time. So yeah, Shweta said emotional pain equals physical weight. I love that. So I was in a lot of emotional pain. So that emotional pain was blocking success and money from coming into my life. So she has really helped me heal through a lot of that pain, and that's why the weight has been falling off, the money has been coming in, and all of that good stuff has been happening. So lots more to that. So I will say Shweta has been a crucial part of me hitting that 100K as well, because she has really helped me move through a lot of my blocks, a lot of my self-sabotaging stuff. See, I had all the marketing stuff down, right? But I didn't have the other part down, which was the energetic stuff. Because how you're showing up, people pick up on your energy, so they can pick up on whether they want to work with you or not. Now, if your energy is not, clean and in its best place, then it's going to repel clients from coming to you. So she has really helped me kind of clear out a lot of my energy. And you guys have all said that. You guys are like, Aditi, you're glowing. You look so happy. Oh my God, I can just feel your energy. Yes, because I have been working on it. I have been working on it really hard. So you guys can you can feel it. You can see it. You can see it in my face. You know what I mean? So that has been a big part of it as well. Oh yeah, so Shweta says she's offering something special tomorrow, so you guys can check her out again at shwetaiyer.com, sign up for her group and list. All right? So if you guys want help with clearing out any of your blocks. Kimberly said, you make so much sense. Clear to open doors. Yes, exactly. Cool. So those are all the questions that we've had today. Do you guys have anything else before we wrap this up? I would love to answer any more questions. Again, I want to invite you guys to join my monthly marketing group. I'm trying to see if I have the link here. I don't. So it's I can just write it out real quick. It's mybrandvoice.com/superstar. And again, like I said, if this link is not working and you're watching this video in the way future, then you can check email Aditi support@aditicreative.com, and you can ask for it. How can I make this show on this screen? Is that better? No, it's not better. Okay, I'm just going to put it up here on my forehead. Okay, so mybrandvoice.com. If I slouch, you guys can see it. mybrandvoice.com/superstar. Okay, there is a 1-month special going on right now. So I highly recommend you guys join now, because the price is going to be going up soon. I'm going to be adding a lot more stuff into this. And I'm really excited to support all of you guys in helping you build your businesses, market your businesses, build up your beliefs, and all of those amazing things. Shweta said, thanks to Aditi, I got a really amazing opportunity today. Yes, she did. She got an amazing opportunity where she's going to be featured in front of thousands and thousands of people. I'm so proud of you, Shweta. Yay! So you guys will learn techniques to do all that kind of stuff inside of the Star Marketing Academy, which is formerly known as Marketing Superstars. We recently just upgraded the name to Star Marketing Academy. So again, it's a monthly program. You can cancel at any time that you'd like. And you can come get weekly marketing support inside of that. All right. If there are no more questions, I am going to close this out. I hope this was helpful. Tell me one helpful nugget that you guys got out of this broadcast in the comments. I would love to know maybe what stood out to you the most, or which thing resonated with you the most, or what helped you the most. It's always helpful for me to know what stands out for you guys. So let me know in the comments below the one main piece of advice that you enjoyed or you got out of today's broadcast. And that's it. So you can always find me at aditicreative.com. And as always, I encourage you guys to dream big and go bold, because fortune favors the bold. That has been my motto. That is what I've really been using these past few years in my personal life and in my business, and it has made a huge difference. So dream bigger and go bold, you guys. All right. Arti said, very helpful. I was doing lists for a while now, but planning or mapping is very helpful, but like what you said, it's about getting it done. Exactly. Focus on getting it done over none. Okay. All right. I love you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll talk to you guys soon.